This is the Dr. Chris Radio of Horror YouTube channel, and we have another great horror movie review with the blonde in front of fear, Cati, reviewing Overlord.
Well, hello, gorgeous ghouls and handsome hounds, because it is time for Overlord with your blonde in front of fear. Now, this film, directed by Julius Avery and starring Wyatt Russell and Jovan Adepo, is about a World War II platoon that paratroops into France to try and stop a clock tower from giving directions to the Germans to destroy their fellow, army troops and American troops and all that stuff. Now, here's the thing. The beginning of this film, one, if you're going to be writing a book report about World War II, this is not the film to be doing it about. There are many historical inaccuracies about that, which is fine. Diversity, hey, this stuff actually should have been happening, so that's no big deal. But there are certain things like you don't train to be a paratrooper in 3 months, just to give you a heads up on that. The beginning of this film, I would say at the first 10 minutes, if you've seen the movie Alive with the intensity and heart racing, just incredible action, that is what this movie is like. I suggest seeing this in IMAX. Now, one of the faults of the film, some of these troops, well, actually, a majority of these soldiers are just downright idiots. There are certain things that happen that I guess are supposed to be surprises, but when I'm watching the film and knowing just an minuscule amount of history regarding war, these things are going to happen. One, you're on enemy land surrounded by Nazis, having full-blown conversations at like normal level with your voice probably isn't the wise thing to do. That's just me. There are also other things that are going on when they're walking, but we'll get to that. Now, one of the best things about this film, the practical effects, honestly, I think are going to be Oscar nominated. There's a scene where someone does something to his face, and I cannot for the life of me tell if it was CGI or practical effects. Here's a spoiler, kids. It's practical effects. And damn, is it good. It is, that was something I have not seen. There's many things that remind me of The Thing for this movie regarding, body demortation. No, not demortate.
Demutation.
Yeah, demutation, and just the way they're like doing the human bodies and just making them into like complete and total zombie monsters.
Cati, would you agree?
Incredible.
Would you agree? Would you agree? There's two scenes in this movie that probably made you so uncomfortable. One, when he has to pull that thing out of his buddy's side, that giant syringe thing that's like suction cupped into him. Was like,
yeah,
that's incredibly painful. And of course, because women can't be written in any other way possible, the attempted like rape scene with the Nazi and the French woman who saves our allied boys.
Oh yeah, because the rape scene. Plus, from that scene, that this is something that has happened to her many times during the occupation of France. So it's just even more disgusting. And like you were saying, when they pull that syringe out of Rosenfeld, it's like, how did that kid? This kid looks like he weighs like $115, and that syringe has to weigh at least like 5 pounds. It takes our lead protagonist like a good yank to get it out of him. So how that kid survived it anyway is beyond me. One of the things though, with like I was saying about The Thing, is that you've got Wyatt Russell, Kurt Russell's son, who, yes, this is the type of movie Wyatt Russell, like, I'm not saying he needs to do everything that his father does and everything like that, but if he's going to do a nice little nod to his dad, this was the movie to do it in, and he did a damn fine job. In fact, he was the one soldier that I liked the most, because, you know what? I didn't understand. There's a scene where a Nazi's doing something bad, and Wyatt Russell like is beating him up. It's like our lead guy says like, hey, you don't want to be like them. It's like, oh, they're Nazis. Like, I know you guys probably didn't know. Obviously these soldiers don't know what we do know now. what was going on, but you know that you're against the war with them. So guess what? They're not doing good things to other people. You kind of get the hint of that in the film. So if he's gonna be beating up on a guy who's doing bad things to other people, I think that's the guy to do it to. I don't know. I thought the soldiers, again, as I said, were extremely naive for even though, yeah, this is probably the first time they've probably been out of Ohio or Indiana or wherever it was. But I don't know. It's like when you're in war, bad things are going to happen. I would recommend seeing this film because I think the beginning of the film and the end of the film are worth that IMAX ticket. They have some incredible special effects. And again, Wyatt Russell for the win. The ending, however, as I said, with or Chris, as you pointed out, with the little gentleman with the syringe on the side, what I would have liked for the ending, and this isn't a spoiler, because this is my ideal ending, I would have liked that character Rosenfeld to have been some sort of like superhuman Jewish soldier that ends up going and like killing a bunch of like Nazis, and you know, he's like this folk legend and stuff like that. I mean, if you're gonna do some historical inaccuracies, why not go for it and do that? That would have been my perfect ending, and like have like fake news clips and stuff like that, you know. But that's just me. I think if you're gonna do something where you've got like some zombie making material or like make people have superhuman strength, why not give it to one of the good guys?
This was definitely a J.J. Abrams movie in so many ways that you could if you watched his old film from early 2000, the 2010s, what was it called? Super 8?
Yeah.
You can see a lot of similarities between Super 8 and this movie. Even though he did not direct this movie.
He did not direct this movie.
Do you know
Julius
why?
Avery directed this movie.
And do you know why he didn't direct this movie?
Well, he wasn't doing stuff with Star Wars?
Episode 9 coming out a year from now.
Yeah.
He's in the middle of probably on post-production on that.
But yeah, you could definitely see the Bad Robot. It definitely had Bad Robot production all over the film. I mean, like the special effects, the different things in like a field. Yeah, the way, I don't know, the way some of the shots were done definitely seemed like Bad Robot stuff. But yeah, I think it's, you know, it's definitely a decent film, and I give it a cheers. Like, go check it out. Go see it. Make sure you got good sound, and if you can, pay that extra $1 or $2 for IMAX because it's worth it.
This definitely had a heavy ties to the origin story of one Steve Rogers, a.k.a. Captain America, in a lot of ways, especially as well as the Red Skull.
Oh, yeah, definitely the Red Skull. I could see that, too. And it would have been nice if they would have had like a little nod to Steve Rogers in there or something.
Well, they did. One of the actors who was in the platoon, the guy who takes the serum, comes back to life, and then he kind of like explodes. He plays Agent Fitz on Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. right now. He
does. But I mean, like when you're in 42, I think it was.
Correct.
It would have been nice to have like a direct correlation to Steve Rogers. And I mean, it was funny that they had so many people who are in, or so many different people who are in Game of Thrones in this.
Right.
Like the guy who played, the bad guy, Pilon Osbeck, who plays Euron Greyjoy and Captain Warfare in this. I mean, if he's going to get stereotyped, this is a way to do it. I don't know, maybe it's the mustache or the beard, something like that does it to it, because he plays a good evil guy.
Definitely. And our main hero is an African-American man in a movie like this. He is our point of view, and that's also, even in 2018, it's still something kind of rare.
Yeah, which he was one of my favorite parts in the movie Fences with Denzel Washington. Awesome. He is a fantastic actor. Yeah, Jovan Adepo. Look forward to seeing many more things with him in it. Just wish they would have written his character to be just a little bit smarter and not so naive. I know you want him to be a good guy and stuff like that, but when you're dealing with, you know, as we know it, one of the most evil beings in the history of humans, it's just, I don't know. Sometimes when you're good, it just can make a character seem very frustrating.
Well, thank you, Katie, for your review of Overlord. Definitely worth recommending checking this film out if you haven't seen it yet.
Check it out. See you next time.